So Facebook had a rough week. First of all, they lost 5% of their valuation after a whistleblower leaked documents. Someone who worked at Facebook leaked documents that proved or pointed at the fact that Facebook knew that their platform or platforms negatively affected teenagers, but they didn't care and they wanted growth. If that content brought clicks, it brought advertisement, it brought revenue, that was enough for them. So that happened earlier in this week, and their evaluation dropped about 5%. And then the thing that I'll talk about happened. There was a big outage. Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram were out. I mean, they're still out at the time of me filming this video. And, I read this article by Reuters, and apparently they don't know what is going on because the employees who work at Facebook aren't able to get into the building to fix the problem. Their ID badges are not letting them in. There's some kind of error internally, and it's really interesting that it's a global thing. Usually when this happens, it's really region specific because they run multiple servers in multiple locations. But this might be speculative here, that it might be a hack of some sort or some kind of sabotage by an inside person. But for now, it's an internal issue that Facebook did not really disclose the reason why it happened. And Down Detector, a website that you probably have visited if you wanted to check if it's only you, has reported 10.6 million problems in the first hour. There is some kind of, now after 6 hours, some kinds of access to WhatsApp. But some other people are saying they still haven't made it in. By the time you're watching this video, probably the servers are back up. Maybe they are not, which means another big problem for Facebook. And I was reading, as always the case, if there is a big outage like this, how much money do they lose? So in Facebook alone, the platform alone, they lose $500,000 an hour. So every hour, Facebook, the app alone, makes 500K, $500,000 in revenue, which is interesting. So in 6 hours, they lost $3 million. Whew. And I think only that's a profit margin for Facebook, which is not their entire business. They obviously make money doing other things. Ads that come directly, I guess, and in Facebook, in Instagram, and their services in WhatsApp Business. 2 billion daily active users of Facebook. 2 billion. I am not a Facebook user, even though I do have a Facebook account. 2 billion, and when that happened, the first thing I had is, imagine if it was gone. How long would it take us, or how long is the optimum time for us to realize that we need another app? So the messaging I primarily use is WhatsApp, but then this happened, so everyone moved to Twitter, and the jokes kept on piling on, because whenever anything is down, that's where you make fun of it, Twitter. And there was numerous memes about it. I'm sure you've seen many of them. And a question I had is, if this case, if WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram was gone forever, of course there is some kind of time period where, let's say, it's devoured by a black hole and it will never come back again. Some time will pass, and then you would see duplicates of it, and some other developer will take the crown. They develop something else as an alternative. But from the existing alternatives, how long would it take to fully migrate your existing contacts to another platform? And that's where things got interesting for me, because the primary way I contact many people is through WhatsApp group chats. And I was wondering, if this goes on for long, how long would it take for people to organically use another platform and do that instead? I was just wondering how people would react and who would react first in certain social circles. It really shows the dependency we have on specific products from specific companies. I was thinking as well, what if Google had the same outage? You wouldn't have YouTube, obviously. You wouldn't have Gmail, Calendar, and so many more. So the things we have, they're not tangible. We can't really see them. They're not something we feel, I mean, in terms of in our hands, but we really see how big of an impact they have in our lives once they stop functioning correctly.